I normally don't talk about Game of Thrones on my main channel, but by God, I have seen the first two episodes of this season, and just like any reasonable person, I decided to take the piss on them. But the show writers have managed to deliver their masterpiece in stupidity with the third episode that I was ending up watching it with drool coming out of my mouth, and I genuinely think this is the way you're supposed to enjoy this show, because this show is probably dedicated for people who literally have drool coming out of your mouth, probably white middle-class bourgeoisie Americans. Now, Arch Warhammer, a friend of mine, constantly tries to get me to play his stupid LGBT games like Europa Universalis 4 or Hearts of Iron, and I'm like, no, listen, I'm a straight guy, I don't play that. And deep inside, I just don't want to tell him the obvious blunt truth. I'm not a good strategist. I don't like strategy games, okay? But you don't need to be a good strategist in order to figure out just how bad these people were during the Festival of Darkness that was episode 3. Okay? I think that any person, no matter how low IQ, with 2 shots of Alzheimer, could have come up with a bit better strategy than these people did. So, okay, what do we got as an army? Well, we got the Dothraki, you know, those very civilized, honorable people that after hundreds of years couldn't even decide how to figure out to make armor. Perfect. We got some dragons, and we also got Bran. Who's Bran? Well, Bran is that limp dick motherfucker whose special ability is to move his eyes on top of his head, like this, and foam at the mouth, okay? And he sees things. He sees things that go around. Motherfucker, do some scouting! Can you not do some scouting? Just send a drone into the enemy base. We need to know, do we expand or are they going to rush? How are their formations? How many? What are they equipped with? You would think that would be important. You would think someone would have gone to Bran. I don't know, maybe that little dwarf Tyrion, that's special ability is to be smart and read books. He could have gone to Bran and say, scout the enemy base. What the fuck are you doing? No, he sat into the chair the entire time. He sat into the chair, shot and farted. That's literally it. This medieval version of Charles Xavier could have done something productive. But you know what? During the middle of the battle, he figures it out. He figures, you know what? Tian, shush, I need to focus now. So he does his magic ability, and he takes control of some crows and flies them around. Doesn't like think maybe he should tell other people about what's going on. You know, like maybe get the crow to deliver a message to Dany or something. I don't know. I don't know, like maybe use it as scouting and tell the commanders how to better position their troops. You think no, it's for his own personal entertainment. He was probably masturbating in his mind, looking at all the carnage and the people dying in his name. That is the only way I can interpret it, because throughout the whole battle, he flies the crows around and sees what's going on without telling anyone. All the secrets, and he keeps it to himself like a greedy little And then we get the Dothraki, these prestigious people who had seasons that developed and built up their culture and their civilization. We know that one thing that they love the most is rape and pillage. That's what they do. And when someone tells them, like Dany, she says, stop raping, hashtag me too. One of the Blood Riders challenges the Khan because that's how strong rape and pillage is within their culture, you know. And we also know they hate magic. But now all of that is forgotten as the Red Witch, with a very slow walking speed, she didn't buy the boots from the shop, I guess, manages to go there, says some mambo jumbo, and all of their weapons start burning. And they seem very comfortable with this. They don't seem, magic, what is this filth? No, this is fine, alright? These are the new improved Dothraki after the Me Too era, I suppose. And you know what we need to do with them? What? Charge them in. All of them. How many? All. Hashtag all. All of them. But we don't know how many. We haven't scout. Doesn't matter. But they've never fought the undead before. They don't have any experience. You know what? We'll see how it goes. And all of these Dothraki who are coming there for I don't know why reason they are really in Westeros. I guess is to follow Dany or something. But not at one point did one of them say, well, they want to use us as a meat shield. Don't you guys find this to be a little bit inappropriate? Like, you know, this wasn't really our problem. Like, we were over the Dothraki Sea in the other part, and there were no undead there. Why are we here? Why are we doing this? No, they charge. All right, they charge. But to be fair, the Alliance or the Living or whatever you want to call them, they weren't such bad guys. They were like, you know what? Let's use some catapults. Let's help them out a little bit. And none of them say, well, like these things, they're not really based around futuristic engineer. They don't have like homing devices on the boulders. Like one of them can malfunction and hit our own man. That doesn't matter, the Lord of Light protects, just fire. So they charge in, and after that, we see that they all die. There's a Romanian saying, the referee wasn't with them that day. I guess the Lord of Light was busy with other things. And I was like, oh shit, Mormont died off screen? No, Mormont is fine, because he's got thicker plot armor than Naruto. And he comes back with 2 of his riders. How did he die that? I don't know. He was right in front of the Vanguard. Like, he was there. He was like, and then he comes back. Well, like, a little bit wounded, to be honest. Alright. And I understand that the wolf manages to survive as well. Maybe the wolf managed to get the retreat sound, right? He understood that they have to retreat, and Ghost went like, bow, bow, bow. Alright. So, we got the dragons, okay? Daenerys. And she goes on, and she gets on her dragon, and there's music. And I'm like thinking like, bitch, why weren't you at base? Like, you could have parked your dragon on the walls of Winterfell, and just do a recording on your smartphone with what does she say? Dracarys. And just do that, put it on repeat, like Dracarys. And the dragon will be like, and maybe have like Jon Snow somewhere in the background, and when you see the Lich King coming on top, you could just go on and get him. But no, right, apparently you want your men to suffer, is that it? You wanted them to earn their place, to have a little bit of hardship. And by the way, at this point, the catapults ran out of Vespene gas, right? They only fired once. Maybe they found communism. The workers at the catapult, they said, you know what, we're going on strike. This is too hard. It's backbreaking labor. We don't really like the pay here. There's no job security. So yeah, we're done. We're done. We did our work cut off for today. So as the workers decide to follow Alejandra Ocasio-Cortez on the Twitter, we see the dragons flying, and they're going towards the White Walkers. All of a sudden, they're not really worried about the blue spear of bullshit that we saw in the previous one that killed one dragon. But luckily, I would think they are saved, because the weather turns to shit. So, because of bad meteorological problems, they have to turn back their assault. Again, think about it this way, right? One of them, the Lich King, managed to kill a dragon with the spear of bullshit. And now they're charging at 5 of them, and as far as they can know, all of them can have 1 spear of bullshit. So they could just throw spears of bullshit and get 3 dragons rather than 1. But you know what? That doesn't happen, because apparently the Lich King is riding on his new mount, right? He probably finished Wrath of the Lich King, got the new collectible mount from that collectible game World of Warcraft. It's not an RPG, it's all about collecting shit. And yeah, they fight a little bit, and it seems that the good guys win. And not only do they win, but they also manage to foobar the blue dragon, right? The dragon is down, and instead of finishing him off like normal people would think, don't you bring the spear of bullshit here. Because they were happy to charge 5 of those motherfuckers, each one potentially having a spear of bullshit, but now that they actually have the dragon down and they could finish him off by Dracarys, they don't do that. They go away. Alright, like fine, because we need the dragon for the epic finale. We need him in the end for some pum 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 action, right? And then we see Arya, and Arya is doing some Chinese shit with her kung fu, and I don't know if that's racist to say. Jacante, can I say that Arya was whatever? I don't even care anymore, because this pisses me off. So she manages to beat 20 undead, right? Like normal people were struggling against 1 or 2, but Arya, she was doing her shit, and she was just killing left and right. She probably killed undead just by looking at them. She actually does that at one point in the movie. She just turns around, sees it, But it's fine, that's her plot line. That's why she exists. I'm not upset at all about all of this. This is fine, What is not fine is that after killing 20 undead, she for some reason decides, you know what, fuck this shit, I'm going to go inside. Why is she going in the castle? I don't know. But she's in the castle now, and she decides to go into stealth. She doesn't like doing the missions run and gun, and she now all of a sudden wants to play Splinter Cell with the undead. And she's there, she's looking, she's peering through the corner, and it's like, bitch, it's 5 of them. You just managed to kill 20 earlier. Why aren't you killing these ones now? I guess the writers wanted me to feel tension. You want me to feel tension for Arya? Is this the character you chose so that I get to feel some tension Do you understand that I am not a moron like you think you are? Maybe your viewers that are in America, the white bourgeoisie middle class that I mentioned before, who have drool coming while they're watching on the telly, action, special effect. Maybe they get to feel tension. But there is no way in the Me Too era that you would allow a string of hair to come loose from Arya, right? Like Arya. Well, what's interesting about Arya, if she managed to survive being stabbed in the gut, falling into the gutter, doesn't get an infection or anything like that, and the next day she's just walking around fine, ain't nothing going to happen to her. Like, you just, no, like this woman, this character, this little toy of yours that the writers managed to do, you're not going to put her in any situation where there's danger. And as such, me as the viewer am watching like this. I'm like, oh, can we move on? Can you give me something else to watch on? So anyway, I fell asleep and I wake up a little bit later and all I see is that she is in a room with Melisandre. And Melisandre is sitting there like a constipated turtle. And any reasonable person would be like, bitch, should you not ask your god to turn up the heat a little bit? It's cold outside. You know, it's a little bit chilly. Can you ask your god, is the god of fire? Is it like, just turn on the heating. A little bit on the heating. No, like, instead, she just sits there and I guess, oh, what do we say to the god of death? And Arya goes, not today, bing, 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 and she just hops around happily as if the combat is over. Now, the reason I can't get my mom to watch Game of Thrones is because, you see, my mom is a busy woman. She works around 12 hours a day, comes home, starts doing the cleaning, the dishes, all of that. Doesn't really have time for anything complicated either than that. So, when she wants to watch a movie is to relax, not to strain her mind by remembering all of the names and all of the characters that are in this game. It's a usual complaint that I hear a lot on the forums. And I can tell my mom, you know what? You can watch Game of Thrones now, mom. And she'll be like, why? Everyone that's not important died. Like, literally, this was the episode. Not a single main character died. And don't give me the shit that John Mormont is important. No, he's not. Alright? He is not. He's just by the way, he's a side character. He used to be important back in other seasons. Don't get me wrong. But no, he's dead. And it's just like late Lyanna Mormont. Who the fuck cares about her? Like, literally, when the combat was over, all of the main characters stood up. You didn't see anyone else that was there. And of course the black people were there as well, because now it's the PC era and it's progressive and black people have to survive, obviously. It would be racist not to. But other than that, no, everyone was dead. It's just the main cast that managed to survive and a couple of Unsullied. But anyway, so I'm falling asleep again when I suddenly, through my eyes, I managed to see something and I don't believe it's real. I see Jon and I see the Night King in front of him. And holy shit, finally, the bell we'll all be waiting for, and you see Jon. And he's going like stealthily. He's doing this mission on stealth. And I was like, wow, that's smart. He was walking like one of those old people, like one of those old people on pension that notices a free seat in the bus. And he's walking slowly towards it, not to alert other people that there is an empty seat in the bus, right? So he's going towards the Night King. And all of a sudden, the Night King goes like, and he spots him. It's like, all right, shit's going down, right? Shit's going down. But no, the Night King activates his aura, that I spoke about it in my last stream, which apparently, it's a toggle on or off aura, right? He raises his hands and he does the bullshit, which means that everyone in the crypt is now fucked. Because I said this last time, it's like, look, if you're fighting necromancers, like, I understand you never seen them before, but you know one thing about them, he can raise the dead. Now, you don't really understand how this ability works, you just know that the moment he raises his hands, things around him raise up. Now, you don't know if he has line of sight, you don't know how this ability, the radius of this shit. So, isn't it safe that if you're going to hide in the crypt, maybe you should burn the bodies, maybe you should move the bodies elsewhere? I'm sure the ancestors would understand. No, the moment the Lich King raises his middle fingers, everyone in the crypt also gets fucked. Fine. And Jon Snow, all of a sudden, is surrounded by an army of 1 million zombies. And I'm like, wow, if I wanted to see Jon Snow fight 1 million zombies, I would have watched The Walking Dead. But instead, we don't get to see the fight. Now, interesting thing, Jon Snow is surrounded by zombies. I'm like, how is he going to survive? And we cut on to the next scene. And then when we cut back to Jon Snow, all the zombies behind him are gone. Now, why you do this? Why you do this? Like, who made this script? Who decided to do this? That it's a smart idea? You're not subverting an expectation. You're being a moron. This is just me losing interest in the action. If what I see on screen doesn't coincide with what happens in the next scene, might as well not have anything. Might as well just, show the scriptwriter that says, yeah, we thought it's a little bit too many zombies, so we dialed a little bit back. It's like the GM spawned too many mobs, and the GM goes like, you know what, maybe I spawned too many, I'll just remove the couple, because John needs to survive. And at that point, again, like everything that happens to John doesn't have any meaning. I know he's going to survive. Like, she seems to have someone up there, and I don't mean the god of fire, I mean the dickheads, D&D, that actually care for him to the point they remove enemies from his path so he manages to get away. Anyway, then Daenerys comes up, right? He gets saved by the magic of vagina. And she comes with her mongrel dragon, and they land. And I'm like, okay, listen, you understand you are on this flying monstrosity that has range, okay? It has two abilities, right? This is how I would describe it to her. It flies, so things on the ground can't reach it, and it has range. It breathes fire. So things on the ground take damage while you sit at safety. No, she decides to land. She's like a woman who doesn't know how to play video games, honestly, right? So she lands, and all of a sudden, like, all these undead climb on the dragon, and they don't seem to have weapons or anything, and as I understand, the dragons have scales anyway, but for some reason, the dragon is in immense pain, and it flies away. Alright, fine. So he's trying to shake it, and it looks cool. And all of a sudden now Dany and Mormont are there and they're fighting and Mormont dies and I'm like, oh, boo-hoo-hoo. And then the dragon comes back and wraps its wings around Mormont and I puked. I swear to God I puked. Like, why you do this to me? I actually had to go down, to the buffet next door and eat a delicious dinner so that I come here and I puke it. I don't know, but anyway, right, moving on. Now, the final moment, right, we see the Witch King and we see Bran. And it's like, oh, now it's going to tell us that maybe he's Bran from a different timeline. Now we're going to find out the secret. You're going to find out Dick. Because Arya, okay, using her vagina, using the power of queefing with a vagina fart, she in the air, like one of those silly Chinese from the 80s, if you know, where people would just jump, woo, and they would jump really high, doing the crane or whatever the fuck, and lands behind the Night King. But she manages to drop the knife and she kills everyone. It's like, Arya, play of the game. Any reasonable person would assume she has cheat codes, and she clearly does, because they were surrounded by the undead. They were surrounded by the generals, but she managed to use pussy stealth. That's another technique in these women that the female characters have, like pussy stealth through all of those undead and all of those generals and all of the other members of the Lich King's army, and then we had queef. And in the air, bah, yeah? Fuck your Azor Ahai storyline. Fuck your fan theories. Fuck you if you want to know anything about the Wall. Fuck you if you think that there was anything more to the White Walkers. No, that's it. Like, literally. Okay, the bad guy was a dick who liked to resurrect dead bodies. Why? No one knows. I understand he wanted to kill everyone. How? There's the Dothraki Sea. You can't pass it. There's people on another continent. Why does he want to kill the people of Westeros? What then? And he doesn't even want to kill the people of Westeros because we know about Caster, who lived behind the wall, who was actually managing to live just fine by giving away baby sacrifices until the knights, the racist member, the racist crows from the Night's Watch decided to pay him a visit and slaughter him and his hospitality. But we're not going to know anything more about that because Arya had to get the play of the game. So I don't know how many millions of kills Arya scored, but she even managed to kill a dragon. Like Jon Snow would have been cool, he had like the shiny blade with the shiny steel, the Valyrium steel. Valyrium. Like, oh, that cuts through everything. It cuts through metal like butter. Well, you had an opportunity to show it. Could have been cool with Jon Snow going around and, just using his Valyrium steel to cut off the dragon's neck. No, Arya kills it. Right. Lovely. Absolutely lovely. So why do we watch the show now? What's next? Well, we're going to watch for the Battle of the Cunts. Because if we had the Battle of the Bastards and people from that medieval era were like, oh my god, this is so unusual to have bastards taking control of armies, you would think that the people of the same era that were very backwards and very, conservative in their nature would call this the Battle of the Cunts. But no, you need to respect because, we live in the PC era and women are #value. Let's look at Winterfell. Who is the most valuable on Winterfell? Well, it depends. It could be Daenerys, it could be Arya, or it could be Sansa. I don't know. But no one knows. Important is that they have pussy. That's what it means. We don't build stories anymore to build up characters, to build up, certain moral lessons or life values that come from watching a great story. No, we build story to empower women, because women in real life, they are constantly being depowered. They are being drained by the patriarchy, the magical cock and balls in the sky. And in order to refill the drainage, they have to watch Game of Thrones. And they watch how Arya manages to single-handedly do the one punch and end up the entire plot line that was built up between 8 seasons, and that makes them feel strong. That makes them feel confident. That makes them, also wanting to charge the Night King or the patriarchy. They maybe want a pussy fart. They go towards the patriarchy in the sky and go like, patriarchy. The women rule the world, it seems. They rule the armies. They kill the Lich King, while the men are only there to, I guess, offer moral support. This is the type of TV shows that we're watching. It makes me think about the Atrocity remake that was Nikita. If you watch Nikita, right, the first one that came out was an excellent show. Like, she was actually a woman, and you see this person that's placed in a difficult situation, how she has to make all these difficult moral decisions, and how through time she becomes this cold-hearted killer. Character development, really nice, really great. And then you watch this shit, or the remake of Nikita, which is also just, it makes me consider purchasing Gillette products by watching you. But anyway, I don't know. I'm starting to get blackpilled when it comes to entertainment. If this is the quality of writing that you're giving me, like, I'm not against Arya killing the Night King. That's fine. It's her plotline that she trained to become this powerful assassin and whatnot. But when the story talks about the prophecy of Azor Ahai, when the story constantly has this build-up, when you see the fat man, R.R. Martin, go there in his little chair with his fat belly and talking about, I don't like making characters that are plainly evil, this is not my thing, I'm just trying to subvert. I'm trying to subvert the trope of fantasy of making just blatant evil characters. And then you see that this character was just blatantly evil. All of the storyline, all of the plot is down into the shitter. So, it's like watching Star Wars. And you get to the plot line and it's like, well, Darth Vader is his father and shit like that. And, Luke wants to save his dad. He thinks about the best. And then Leia comes and kills him. It's like, you start to wonder, is this really enjoyment? This is the whole shtick with One Punch Man. Like, One Punch Man works because it's a parody. It's this whole thing that anime keeps making these powerful villains, and you have the guys beating them up. Like, what if there's no conflict? What if the villain is really powerful, beats everyone up, but then one guy comes and beats him with one punch? It's not a satisfying conclusion, which is what the show writers did. And also filmed this with a Samsung while the Festival of Darkness was going on. Couldn't see shit. The Battle of the Bastard was better because at least I could fucking see what's going on. They were so ashamed of their zombies that they had to put pitch blackness in order to make sense. Anyway, I'm angry. And you know why I'm angry? I'm angry because there's no entertainment anymore. Like, it used to be that I would calm down, I would come from a hard day at work. I would be very exhausted, and I would calm down, sit my ass, and watch some entertainment to bring a smile on my face. There is no more smiling on my face, this is when I see IGN showing me a happy gamer. I know that's not a real gamer, because gamers don't have a soul anymore. They are depressed individuals that have been exposed to the corruption and to the bad business practices that video game companies make. And time again, they have been disappointed because the company promises you something and then gives you shit. It's just like Game of Thrones. They promise you an epic story that you're going to be rewarded if you stick with it from 8 years. And then I get shit. Anyway, I hope you guys like it. If you do like it, do not hesitate to give me a super chat, because most of my videos get demonetized anyway. If you like it more, you can also subscribe to my Patreon, Subscribe Star. Give a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys when I calm down. Take care.